All right, so if you notice my last video ended rather abruptly, it's because I showed you how to do something, but I didn't show you how to be careful with it, and I want to show you how to be careful with it. Now, I'm going to cut up this P, and I'm going to put some notches and cuts and things in it, and I want to show you some ways you can do this. Um, Now, before I do anything to this P, because if I mess this thing up completely and have too many undos or I save over it, I would have to make the entire thing again, which would be awful. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come up to the layer of the P, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to choose duplicate layer. Now, if you don't have a right click on your mouse button, hold down hold down your control button and then click on it. But you click on the name of it, duplicate layer, and it's called P copy. Now I just made one, so that's why it's P copy too. So it's P copy. All right. Oh, that's why I deleted the wrong one here. That should be called P. There we are. All right, so anyway, so I'd have P and I'd have P copy. Now what I want to do is I want to create a folder, which they annoyingly call groups, but it looks like a folder in the icon, and we all know what folders are. So I'm going to create this new folder or group, and I'm going to call it, double click there, original letters. Here, I'll do this in original letters. Bam. Okay, and I'm going to take my my original, why not? I'll take my original P and I will drag it into this, and then I'll put this arrow to collapse it, and I will drag it down here. Now, just to be safe, because I actually never did this with the X, and I should probably do this with the X, I will do the same thing. So right click on the name of it and duplicate the layer. Okay, and that's going to be called practice copy. Take my original one, move it down into my original letters, and pow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a notch out of this, and I'm going to use something called the Polygonal Lasso. So if I take this and click, just like with your pen tool, it does straight lines in between. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out rather than copy it. So your shortcuts for copy and paste would be Command C and Command V. And it's called Command V for paste because Command P is already taken for print. But I don't want to copy it because if I copy it and paste it, then what happens is it doesn't really take the original out at all. And I'm like, well, that was kind of stupid. Don't want to do that. Okay, so here, let's undo that. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do Command X. Now I did that and you're like, nothing happened. I can see up here that it's gone, but nothing happened. Why is that true? Well, because in my original letters here, guess what? I've got a second copy in the exact same place. So I'm going to make this invisible by hitting the eyeball. Bam, that goes away. Now you can see the cut. Coolness. All right, so I'm going to paste it, which is Command or Control V, and I will move this, click and drag, and I will offset that a little bit. And I need to finalize this somehow. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I don't have to do it on that one. That's cool. Excellent. All right, so let's try that again. So I will take my polygonal lasso, bam, 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 Command X. Could not complete the cut command because the selected area is empty. Oh, what the heck happened? Well, guess what? I am on the wrong layer. See that? There's nothing on this layer that is there. Okay, and I'm like, that's confusing. Well, two things about that. I could go back here to my P layer, because I have to be on the P layer to actually cut this. Command X, hey, now it works, all right? Command V, there's my little thing. Go to my move tool, all right? And I'm going to offset this. Now, by the way, I want this to maybe have a little bit of space in there, okay? I can change the size of this thing, drag that down a little bit, and in order to finalize this, I can either double click this, hit the enter button, or hit the check mark. All work. I'll hit the check mark just for whatever. Okay, so now I've got these two notches out. Notice that the notches are on different layers. Every time you paste, it makes a new layer. But I want them to all be on the same P layer so I can work with them together. So I will right-click the name of the layer, or if you don't have a right-click on your mouse, hold down the control button and click on it. Right-click, choose merge down. It merges that layer with the layer under it. Bam. Now you can see both those shapes are in there. Okay, I'll do the same thing. Right-click, merge down. Now everything is on the P layer. Life is happiness. If I move this around, it all goes together. Okay, so coolness. Now you can also do some other things with this. You could use the eraser tool to cut some notches out. Now I can't see how big my eraser is. Why is that? Because I have caps lock on. Okay, hit caps lock, there it goes. So there's a couple things I can do with this, but first, size. I'm going to use a hard edge brush. See, hardness at 100%. This is so it cuts out even lines, not fuzzy ones. And I can play with the size. So if I use my brackets just over my enter button, right bracket makes it bigger, left bracket makes it smaller. So I can do things like this, like I can cut notches out, pow. That could be kind of cool. I could go much smaller, okay? And let's say that I wanted to make some breaks like this, but I didn't want them to be offset. I could click, hold my shift button down, and it will make a straight line in between those 2 points. And I can do something like that. So just starting from my initial P, I can actually do quite a bit of cool modifications to it to break it up and make it a little bit graffiti. By the way, last thing, Magic Wand. Okay, Magic Wand selects pixels of similar color. Let's say I said, you know what, I do want to offset this thing. I click, it grabs that one little piece, okay, and I can go to my Move tool and I can move this thing around. And so if I said, you know what, I really do want to offset that, I could. And then once again, I will deselect because it's selected. See the little marching ants? Command D, and there we are. Okay, so these are all things you can do to modify your letters once you've created it, but make sure you back it up. Okay, back it up first. So if you mess it up, you still always have the original. See, I'll turn this off, turn these back on. There's my original P. All right, so back up.